About a month ago, I made a video about how I felt like RE9's melee was worse than RE4 Remake. Don't get me wrong, I love RE9. I like the melee. I'm just not in love with it. As expected, comments were divided. Some disagreed and gave thoughtful answers that made me think about my stance. But that was an early, rough video. I was maybe like 80 hours into the game at that time. Now it's 4 weeks later. I'm 200 hours deep into Resident Evil 9, attempting an insanity no damage, no gun run, and after all that time, I am seeing some issues that are sticking out. So let's talk about the parts of the melee that I still don't like with RE9. Let's start with speed. Early on, I pointed out that Leon's hatchet is slower than his knife. At that time, that was just maybe an observation. And people pointed out that yeah, it's supposed to be slower. It's heavier, and Leon's older, he's infected, and maybe he's just a bit more angrier this time. If we're being realistic, it all checks out. And I'm not opposed to the idea. The weight, the brutality, the way the final hit shows Leon making effort to wrench the blade out, it feels great. But after a while, especially if you go on a no-gun run, that slow swing will start to bother you. Exhibit A. Leon's basic 3-swing combo lasts 1 second longer when you're hitting an enemy. Now again, that in itself is not a problem. The melee swings hit harder, and I guess that's what the devs were aiming for. But here's something that I don't like. Each hatchet swing has 2 distinct hits. The impact going in and the pull going out. Visually, it's excellent. The second motion, when Leon rips the blade out of the zombie, adds weight, feedback, and brutality to the attack. Honestly, I think they put it in there just to make it more satisfying. But then I installed a health bar mod and I realized that second swing does no damage at all. And if you're hitting a chainsaw zombie, if the first swing connects with the chainsaw, you will deal no damage even if the second hit connects. Now thankfully, I've only seen it happen with the chainsaw zombies, so it's not a big deal. However, when you're taking down enemies like Chunk and the big spider with just a hatchet, that extra millisecond per hit could have been used for better things, like, I don't know, repositioning or maybe another hit. Anyway, it's just disappointing that the second impact we see in here is just there for show. But here's one thing that I absolutely despise. This fucking animation. Here we just see Leon throw his hatchet back into his belt. He does this between about 7 and 13 seconds after the last attack input or parry input. On the surface, it's just a little bit of added realism. I mean, we've all seen the reload animations on this game, and we know that Capcom spared no expense in that department. So why is this particular animation a problem? Well, simple. If Leon does this, the game ignores all melee inputs. That means no attacks, no parries, no nothing. Now, I'm aware that this is a non-issue when you're playing normally, i.e. with guns and all. But if you're doing a no-gun run, this is gonna be a big problem. If that animation plays in the middle of combat, Leon just stands there. And again, it's not a game-breaking issue. I'm aware that in the grand scheme of things, this is a minor problem. But man, I started to wonder how many easy perfect parries I missed and how many runs I had to restart because of this problem. Oh, and one last thing. I missed the crowd control melee from RE4R. And I know, RE9's perfect parry makes up for it by just forcing every enemy to back off and wait until you're done. But still, getting surrounded by ganados, pulling off a perfect parry and just sweeping every single one of them off their feet just feels so good. In conclusion, I still love RE9. I wouldn't spend so much time on it if I didn't. The melee is not as great as I wanted it to be, but it's still very good. And it still has other things going for it, like different hatchet executions from different angles. But there's no law against criticizing something you love. Still, for what it is, it's a system that I keep coming back to. 200 hours in, and I'm still finding new things to try out. That says a lot about the game. That's the video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more.